Jai Shri Ram. You're watching Sunday Sadhana, your favorite Hindu magazine program on SABC2. We certainly are in auspicious times, as today's episode is dedicated to Lord Ram and Ram Navami. We begin by taking a look at the annual Eistedfod hosted by the Hindi Shiksha Sangh in Johannesburg, where enthusiastic youth made their contribution toward the Ramayan-themed event. This is followed by a power-packed rendition of the Ram Bhajan by the Andhra Mahasabha, Indonesia, just south of Johannesburg. Isn't it beautiful to see children immersed in Hinduism from a young age? Their innocence, their purity and devotion. An organization dedicated to growing the glory of Hinduism is the Hindi Shiksha Sangh of South Africa, and the Johannesburg branch recently got all the youth together on one platform for their Eistedfod event, and the theme that formed the backdrop for this year's occasion was the epic Ramayan.
The Hindi Shiksha Sangh here was initiated in 7 years ago. You might say Hindi teaching is our main activity. Language is a fundamental requirement for cultural development and cultural continuity. Hindu dharma, any other dharma for that matter, has its roots within a linguistic framework.
This brings together the religious groups from all different areas across Gauteng. And today there's actually a huge forum. If you look at the team is made up of people as far as Midrand, Springs, Lens and Benoni that actually get together to put this down. So in terms of cutting down barriers and bringing people together, this has actually proven to be a very good way of getting people together.
The Ramayan is a fundamental document of Hindu dharma. Our way of life, many of the aspects of our traditions emerge from there. And we felt that since we are in the teaching of Hindi and in the promotion of culture through Hindi, it would be a very good initiative to try and get or make Ramayan the theme of one of our Eistedfods.
All the items are actually based on the Ramayan. So for example, the choral verse by the junior kids is a story about, tells the story of how Ram left from the palace to go to the forest for 14 years. Each participating Pathshala gets to choose a particular lesson or theme or even a message from the Ramayan that they would like to depict.
Ramayan, as you know, and as the Ramayan says, that it is a story about dharma, it is a story about truth. Today, it is going to come alive on stage, and therefore every person who visits who is a guest at our function today will go back home with some or other aspect of Ramayan.
So there's lots of the lessons from the Ramayan that are actually built into each category where the kids and the adults will actually depict them. I think from all the Eistedfods we've had so far, this is going to be one of the most passionate or passion-driven one, as one, it's the theme, and two, we've had a lot more youth involvement than we have had over the past years.
I think you will find that the number of young people who will be participating in the Eistedfod and in its arrangements is growing year by year. And this has been a wonderful thing. In whichever environment we are at, in the final analysis, a member of God's community. And He has given us an inheritance which is our cultural environment, and we are born with this. We cannot deny it, and we have to live it and express it in terms of what he has given us.
Learning our language is knowing who we are. The minute we know who we are, we actually find that peace within us, and it's something that we are then able to pass on to our children, who can pass on to their children. And by doing this, we actually keep our culture, our roots alive.
We often hear that God resides where his name is chanted. And what better way to chant God's name than through a medley of bhajans? Today, Sunday Sadhana joins members of the Transvaal Andhra Sabha, Indonesia, for a power-packed, rather different, vibration-filled rendition of the Ram Bhajan, where the radiant Lord Ram is glorified as the divine light.
Transvaal Andhra Sabha was formed in 1986. Some 14, 15 years ago, this organization decided that we should be bringing our traditions from Natal to Gauteng.
Seeds of the art form that we call the Ram Bhajan was actually sown in India. Now there's a backdrop to that, and that backdrop is the Ramayan. When Ram was returning to Ayodhya from Lanka with Mother Sita and with his faithful Hanuman, they stopped in the southern parts of India. The people in the villages received him with great joy, with great reverence, knowing that he was a person of divine personage, and they started building temples in his honor. That is how it started, and the devotional songs, the padyams that they used to sing, was always directed to Lord Ram.
As you walk into the tent or the market, wherever it's been held, there's so much of you can just see unity, and you can see vibration, and you just want to get involved. And you sort of feel calm within yourself, listening to the bhajans and listening and devoting your time, that specific hour or whatever you're going for. Devoting that time to Lord Ram is more important than being anywhere else.
The Ram Bhajan, as we understand, is an art form. It involves the recitals of devotional songs and padyams to the beat of cymbals and to the merindika.
It just draws in, like, when you sit at a bhajan, you sit and you have so many vibrations going through you. And as a youth and as a youngster, you want to draw from that and create your own.
They dance around a row of lamps. We call it chetu. The row of lamps consists generally of 108 lamps, and these lamps are brightly lit. There's a lead singer who leads the bhajans, followed by the chorus, and they all have a stepping. They step in a certain fashion. You have a lead stepper, and the others in the group follow that. You have a slow beat, and you get them into a high crescendo beat.
If you understand what Ram was about, you will find that it was righteousness, it was duty, it was sacrifice. And you must understand that the philosophy is universal.
I think with Sri Ram, he inspires me. With Ram and Sita and the Ramayan and everything that went with it, we look towards them for inspiration. And by looking towards them, we grasp on everything that they've done good. They become our role models.
The process of fasting is a discipline. It's also the question of prayer and devotion. The Ram Bhajan teaches us this. It teaches us sacrifice. It teaches us hard work. It teaches us to be, in the way that we conduct ourselves, to love and to appreciate people. So these are the things that the Ram Bhajan has taught us. To what extent it will evolve, I do not know. The qualities of Ram, as I said, right, is a philosophy in itself, universal. And that cannot just be wiped away. That will continue. For as long as man is willing to bow down and pray and seek something from above, right, Ram will always be relevant. Ram Bhajana is a vehicle to be able to want to realize that.
So whether you come to the Ram Bhajan to listen to the songs or just be with the community, you draw from the positivity, and that's what a Ram Bhajan stands for. It's positivity in all.
The power and the purity. We hope you've enjoyed your Sunday sadhana today, and may the rhythmic chanting of Ram Nam during this auspicious time bring with it peace, light and fulfillment. Remember, keep up the sadhana, and until we next meet, Om Sai Ram.